saying, what do I do? I've got to have notes. Hopefully, because I'm not plugged in.
There, is that good?
I think so.
Thank you.
Much better.
Perfect. So we are live now. And I want to welcome everybody to our inaugural meeting, the one meeting that I get to call to order for 4 years. Thank you all for coming out today. I'm going to start with our Indigenous land acknowledgement, and then we will get right into the oath, and I will turn the meeting over to the chair. As we gather this afternoon, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Now, I'm going to start our oath with Councillor John Epps, because he's with us today on Zoom. So in case he, for some reason, has to step out for an emergency, hopefully does not, we're going to move forward with your oath first. So Councillor Epps, if you could please read your oath.
Yes. I, John Douglas Epps, having been elected or appointed to the office of Municipal Councillor in the municipality of Bon Cheval Valley, do solemnly promise and declare that 1, I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. 2, I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any improper manner. 3, I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. 4, I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. And I've signed this for Annette before I left.
Yes, thank you very much. And I did check with our municipal solicitor who said this was good to go. I will move on to next person then. Sure, Councillor Buchwald, if you would please read your oath for me.
Don't need to stand. No.
You don't have to, if you'd like
Okay.
to stand.
I, Mervyn Buckwell, have been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor in the municipality of Bon Cheval Valley. Do solemnly promise and declare that, number 1, I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. 2, I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. 3, I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. 4, I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as if made it under oath.
Perfect, and I see you've signed it, so that's excellent. Thank you very much. On to you. Thank you, Councillor Sanderson. Thank you.
I, Tracy Sanderson, having been elected or appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of Bon Cheval Valley, I do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as is made under oath.
Thank you. Please sign in front of me, and I will commission the declaration. And thank you. Councillor Hunt.
I, Brent Patrick, having been elected or appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of Township Bon Cheval Valley, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truthfully, faithfully, and partially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. Thank you.
And Mayor Murphy.
So weird. This is the first time I'm doing this with the king and not the queen. I, Jennifer Murphy, having been elected or appointed to the office of mayor in the municipality of Bonnechere Valley Township, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Remembers Day at the Legion, the program that they handed out, somebody had taken white out and changed queen to king.
Yes,
I
Did
did
you
see
notice
that.
that?
I
yes.
did see that. And now I present to you your sworn in municipal council. I see staff was in that. You could have come in.
Come on in.
I didn't want to interrupt you. We witnessed it all. It's awesome. And I turn the meeting over to the mayor.
Thank you, Annette. Good job. At this time, I call this meeting to order. The first order of business, I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November 2022 that council approved section 3.1A of the procedural bylaw be suspended to allow the inaugural meeting to take place on Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. Can I get a mover and seconder? Brent, Merv, all in favor? I can't
Aye.
see John voting.
He said aye. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, John. All right. Are there any additions to the agenda? I see none. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November 2022 that the agenda be accepted as presented. Mover and seconder, please. Tracy, Brent? All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? I see none. Good afternoon and welcome to the inaugural meeting of the 2022-2026 term of the Bonnechere Valley Council. I am extremely grateful and excited to be serving my fourth term as your mayor. It is an honor to continue this work, and I'm looking forward to working with this council. Welcome back to our returning members, Merv Buchwald and Brent Patrick, and it is my pleasure to welcome our new members, Tracy Sanderson and John Epps. Congratulations to all, and to all who put their names forward, ready, willing, and able to serve. I wish to also acknowledge our outgoing members, Tim Cision and Jack Rosner, and thank them for their years of service. We are a new team, and I can't wait to see what each and every one of us brings to the table for consideration at this pivotal time. Together, we carry immense responsibility to lead our community through unprecedented times, to listen to residents' concerns and ideas, to serve as the voices of our community through the decisions we make at this table and our advocacy together with the County of Renfrew to other levels of government. We do not always have to agree. In fact, healthy debate, differing opinions, and varying perspectives will help ensure the representation of all members of our community and informed, thoughtful decision-making to the best of our abilities for all those we serve. Thank you to our CAO, Annette Gilchrist, and to all of our staff. We are so lucky to have such a dedicated and professional team. There is so much that goes into municipal operations. Having the right human resources is paramount for our success. We can make these exciting times, but as we all know, council will face many challenges over the next 4 years as we continue to rebuild after the pandemic. I believe that the top priority for government should be to provide the best and most effective services while at the same time minimizing tax increases. The 2023 budget is going to be very difficult, but I know that we can achieve this goal. We do have some unfinished business from the last term, the RV issue, the animal shelter, infrastructure deficits, and advocacy for mental health resources. These are just a few of the outstanding issues. Our new tourism strategy will give us a clear focus for our local economy to foster and grow local opportunities. Once this strategy is launched, we will have to make some decisions about our community improvement plan. These interconnected pieces provide a path forward for our township, and one that, with careful financial planning, will help us realize the shared vision we all have for our community. During this time of post-pandemic recovery, it is imperative that we help our residents through increased engagement, through recreation opportunities, advocating for mental health and addiction resources, information sharing, and feedback opportunities, just to name a few. This council will get to work on our strategic plan later this year. This is a great time for all of us to reflect on what works well, what doesn't, and how we can make improvements. There is no question infrastructure continues to be a priority. We are working on our updated asset management plan, which gives us a clear understanding of where our biggest needs for the future are. It is imperative that we follow this plan and use it to have shovel-ready projects so that we can apply for grants from the provincial and federal governments. We cannot complete large infrastructure projects without our partners in other levels of government. I would just like to touch on a few additional priorities. These include enhancing relationships with key community stakeholders, including our Edenville and Area Community Development Group, the newly formed Bonnechere Valley Youth Action Committee, the rehabilitation of the Foymount Park, working with the county on our roads and servicing needs, exploring shared opportunities with neighbors, the expansion of Enbridge Gas into the village, and the completion of cell tower and broadband projects. I know that our staff will provide regular updates and valuable feedback on what they are encountering in their departments. We have so much to be proud of in Bonnechere Valley: beautiful natural resources, a wealth of parks and recreation facilities, and we are so blessed to have a number of dedicated and hardworking volunteers that contribute greatly to the township's quality of life. It is now time to look to the future with a renewed sense of optimism, to build on the strengths of our community and our people, to be bold and to be visionaries. This will be a very busy term with focused work and effort. I believe that we can achieve all of our goals. I am so very grateful to be part of this. To our residents, thank you for putting your trust in us. Let's do this. Yes, Terry, I will email it to you. Okay. All right. We're going to get to some appointments here.
Question.
I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November 2022 that Mert Buchwald and Paul Prince be appointed to the Police Services Board for a period concurrent with the present term of council. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Tracy. I'm going to call on John, and all in favor. Thank you.
I think John had a question as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, John.
Sorry, before we get to business, question. How do we address each other? Are we formal? I'd be happy to be called John. That makes me quite happy. Is that how we do it?
You know what? I actually made a mistake because this is a council meeting.
Okay.
Generally at committee, we call each other by our first names, but at council, we call each other councilor and mayor. And you are absolutely right, John. This is a council meeting. So my apologies.
I wasn't looking to be right. So I would say Councillor Patrick would be appropriate.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm so used to, yeah. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November 2022 that Brent Patrick, Candace Woolley, Dorothy Langman, and Francis O'Malley be appointed to the board of directors for the Bonnechere Union Public Library for a period concurrent with the present term of council. Mover and seconder, please. Moved up by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Sanderson. All in favor. Thank you. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that Jennifer Murphy, Tracy Sanderson, Kayla Desjardins, Shannon Fraser, Kayla Menkhorst, Heather Jameson, Samantha Jan, Michelle De Silva, Kellyanne Reinhardt, and Samantha Jane be appointed to the Board of Directors for the Bonnechere Youth Action Committee for a period concurrent with this present term of council. Can I get a mover and seconder? I'm gonna look to Councillor Epps, because you're behind me, sorry about that, and Councillor Patrick. All in favor? I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that Jennifer Murphy, Hillary Robinson, Dave Kruger, Brian Weckworth, and Lynn Beauchamp be appointed to the Eganville and Area Community Development Group for a period concurrent with the present term of council. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Buckwald, I was going to call you Councillor Buckwald too. Councillor Sanderson.
We'll get it down.
No, just because you're, yeah. All in favor? Thank you. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that Tracy Sanderson, Abby Booth, Alan Dittburner, Gerald Priestley, Helen McMaster, Sharon McMillan, Jack Rosine, Suzanne Shear, Stuart Tiedman, and Laura Zerdoko. I don't know how you say it. Okay, my apologies. Zerdoko. Oh, so I did have it pretty close. Be appointed to the Board of Directors for the Bonnechere Museum for a period concurrent with the present term of council. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Patrick, Councillor Buckwald, all in favor? Thank you. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that the following persons are designated as the Municipal Emergency Control Group for the current term of council. Mayor Jennifer Murphy or designated, Councillor Tracy Sanderson, Councillor John Epps, Councillor Brent Patrick, Councillor Merv Buckwald, CAO Annette Gilchrist, or her alternative, Sandra Barr, CEMC Erica Rice, alternative Emma, Public Works Supervisor Jason Zor, alternate Dale Birch, Water and Sewer Department Supervisor Daryl Birch, Recreation Manager Kevin McGrath, and the Emergency Information Officer Dana Barkley. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Epps. All in favor? Thank you. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that Councillor Merv Buckwald be appointed to the Emergency Management Program Committee for the period concurrent with the present term of council, and that the I think this was supposed to be Councillor Epps.
I think you're correct.
So I'm going to have a friendly amendment here since nobody's voted. All right, try that again. That Councillor John Epps be appointed to the Emergency Management Program Committee for the period concurrent with the present term of council, and that the chair of the committee be CEMC Erica Rice, Senior Administrative Representative be Annette Gilchrist, and Fire Chief Dave Murphy as Emergency Service Representative. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Patrick, Councillor Buckwald. All in favor? Thank you. A lot of administration in this meeting. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that the mayor and all members of council shall be appointed to the standing committees of council, and that the chairs be appointed for a 2-year term as follows. Public Works Committee, all of council. Chair 2022 to 2024, Brent Patrick. Chair 2025-2026, John Epps. Administrative Committee, all of council. Chair 2022-2024, Merv Buckwald. Chair 2025-2026, Tracy Sanderson. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Patrick, Councillor Buckwald, all in favor. Thank you. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that council appoint a deputy mayor for each 1-year term as follows. 2022 to 2023, Merv Buckwald. 2024, Brent Patrick. 2025, John Epps. 2026, Tracy Sanderson. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Epps, excellent, and Councillor Sanderson. All in favor. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that as of November 16th, 2022, the following persons have signing authority for the Township of Bonashir Valley. Annette Gilchrist, CAO, Sandra Barr, Deputy CAO, Mayor Jennifer Murphy, Councillor Tracy Sanderson, Councillor John Epps, Councillor Brent Patrick, and require any two to sign. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Patrick, Councillor Epps, all in favor? Thank you. And I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on October 18th, 2022, as amended or presented, be hereby adopted. I will call on our former members, please. Mover and seconder, Councillor Buckwald, Councillor Patrick, all in favor. Thank you. No, okay, Councillor Epps, you don't have to vote on these minutes because you weren't on council. Sorry, I should have said that before, sir. My apologies.
All good.
I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, 2022, that the minutes of the special council meeting held on October 27th, 2022, as amended or presented, be hereby adopted. Councillor Patrick, Councillor Buckwald, any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you. Where did you, oh, correspondence, okay. And at this time, I am going to turn it over to our CAO for our inaugural presentation. Take it away, Annette.
Thank you. Coming up in 8 pages, so.
Can I get a quick photo of the group before this comes up? Because I have to go back and do some other stuff. Would that be?
Why don't you wait until the 6th when John is here? Or do you want us in front of the screen, maybe?
I've got a shot at him separately.
Okay,
On the screen, so if we could just get the group that's here now.
Yeah.
I'll have it for him and he can decide what he wishes to do. If that's okay?
yeah,
Or is it recognition that I have to?
Oh, you have to go. Okay. So we're just going to take a pause while
Sorry,
Terry
guys.
takes pictures. That's fine.
Yeah, if you just stay seated at where you are. And I move this. After I've already moved it. Wherever you get in the center, you're the tallest one, just right behind Jenny, please.
there's a lot of stuff going on here.
But do you want to move?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Give me a sec. Thanks.
Well, it makes you look busy.
There
Apologize for, thank you very much for,
we go.
okay. Everybody ready? And nice and be friends. Merv, you're not smiling. You're supposed to want this job.
Your flash didn't go.
No, I didn't on that one, no. Very good, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Best of luck, guys. Can you send me, send me your address, please? You'll email me your address that you just gave and the committee that you just,
I can do absolutely that.
okay, perfect.
Oh, do you have the committees somewhere that
I'm sorry.
there?
It'll be in the minutes, but I can send them as well. Yeah.
Good, thank you.
That's no problem. That's okay. Have that worse.
Guaranteed.
On the farm.
Thank you again, sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
Take care.
Oh,
I've now lost my presentation.
yeah, because that was a lot of resolution.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Where do you want me to send the address?
I
The
don't
leader's board?
It's like, no, send them my Gmail, terry30@gmail.com. Please and thank you.
Gmail.com.
Yeah.
You know, I had one.
No, it wouldn't, it's just something I started using maybe because it's
Okay.
quicker than the leader's force one.
It will be done. Oh, apparently oh, that's weird. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. You know.
Now I'm going to share this. I think everyone can see that now. Yes. All right. So to start off, for new council and for old council who's gotten to know me over the last 3 years, but we haven't had a whole lot of time spent together with COVID other than in meetings and talking about township business. So wanted to know anything about me. 3 things. I love to fish. I raise egg-laying chickens at home and also produce maple syrup. So those are just some non-professional items if you were curious about me. Before starting with the township of Boncher Valley, I worked for the township of Adamson Bromley for about 11 years. Prior to that, I came from the private sector where I worked for a law firm, an accounting firm, and also land developers. I have my certified municipal officer designation. I also have my Ontario accredited municipal clerk designation, and I serve on 4 local boards, one being the Association of Municipal Managers, Clerks, and Treasurers for Ontario, where I was voted as a board member at large by my colleagues across the province. Just a little bit about me. Now, getting into leadership for the municipality and how I view it. David Siegel wrote a book that was called Leadership in the Shadows, which had to do with CAOs in municipalities. And there are 3 terms that he talks about. One is leading up through council, which is where I work hard on communication, building trust, building competency with the various direction that council gives. Leading down to staff through either compliance with rules that the province has put out, policies and procedures that council has given me direction on, as well as managing resources and the budget. Leading out, relationships with the outside world. So lots of community groups that are amazing to work with here in Boncher Valley, working with media, as Terry was just here, working with other partners and municipalities, our neighbors. We have some upcoming training that I've organized with our neighboring municipalities because it's always good to be communicating with them as well. Municipal Act. I know Tony went into this a little bit on our legal seminar that we had. Under the Municipal Act, roles and responsibilities. So council's roles are to represent the public and consider the well-being and to develop and evaluate programs and policies, determine the services and the levels of services, provide oversight and controllership to ensure accountability and transparency and maintain financial integrity. Myself as CAO, as well as the officers and department heads for the corporation, what we are doing is implementing council's decisions. We're establishing the administrative practices and procedures in order to implement those decisions, undertaking research, providing fearless advice, and loyal implementation. And overall, as CAO, I'm exercising general control of management of affairs and making sure that all of the services we provide are efficient and effective for operations. Organizational chart. So here is what that looks like. We've got council, the CAO, Deputy CAO Sandra Barr, and 3 full-time admin staff working here in the office. Then we have Daryl Birch, who's going to come in later today and talk about the water and sewer department. Jason Zor, who's going to talk about public works. Dave Murphy, who's our fire chief. Kevin McGrath, who runs our recreation department, and Daryl Wagner, who does our CVO, bylaw enforcement, and also looks after health and safety, our joint health and safety committee, and the animal shelter. Meetings. So we meet twice a month, the first and the third Tuesday of the month, usually at 1:30 in the afternoon for committee. As you heard the mayor talking about earlier, that's a little bit less formal of a meeting. And we did appoint committee chairs if you were listening to the resolutions. So for the first meeting, it's our public works meeting, and for the second meeting of the month, it's our administration meeting. So for the first meeting, Merv is going to be chairing those committee meetings. For the second meeting, it's going to be Brent. And then we will switch that out, and then it will be Tracy and John chairing those meetings after that. And the deputy mayor, so for the appointments for deputy mayor, it's Merv for this year, Brent for next year, then it would be John, and then it would be Tracy. So that's the resolutions that you heard tonight, along with the committee appointments to Police Service Board, which was Merv Buckwald, to the museum and to the Youth Action Committee. So Councillor Saunderson was appointed to those. Brent Patrick was appointed to the library, and the Eganville and Area Community Development Group was Mayor Murphy. And the reason we do those appointments is to have council representation on those local committees, but also because then those committee members are covered through our insurance when they're passed through resolution. And then if you have a volunteer working for that volunteer, that coverage flows through to them. So that's why we're appointing more than just council members to those committees. It's for their protection for our insurance. So committee of the whole is all of council. The council's acting as committee. And in committee, what you can do is give direction to staff. So if we receive a request or we receive a report, then council can say we direct staff to negotiate this or to move forward with talking to the ratepayer or implementing this certain policy. Any decisions of council are going to be passed through resolution or through bylaw at the end of the evening when we pass the confirmatory bylaw, because it all has to be passed by bylaw for policies, procedures, loans, financial implication decisions, tenders, approval, anything like that is going to come then to the council meeting at 5:30, which is usually fairly quick because we've already discussed everything in committee and we're really just ratifying all the decisions that have been made. We
CAO
also hold
Gilchrist,
public meetings. Sorry?
CAO Gilchrist.
Yes.
I'm not, as you're moving down your presentation, I'm still on the initial one on my screen. Could you, on the right hand of my screen, could you click on the one that I'm supposed to be viewing right now?
So we're supposed to be on the meetings.
Yes, so I'm
That's
just
not-
seeing, on my screen, I'm only seeing the initial council orientation screen. And
Okay. I will stop sharing and try sharing again. Thank you. I wonder if YouTube was seeing the same thing.
it's not critical, but it's,
I sent Terry the committees.
Okay, great. Thank you. Are you seeing me now? Switch the slides?
okay, now it's scrolling down, organizational, conflict of interest. Is that where we want to be?
We want to
In-
be in meetings. I've gone too far now. There,
Meetings. Okay, we're good. Thank you very kindly.
no problem. I don't seem to be able to resume the slideshow. So
Maybe just do it like that. Maybe that's
Okay.
why he was having problems.
I don't know, but I think as long as you can see that, that's probably better than the way it was. So public meetings, and I know council has a copy of all of this, so public meetings that we have are usually public planning meetings. So if a zoning bylaw amendment comes forward, and they are very prescriptive under the Planning Act. So those ones are chaired by the mayor, and you will, if you're attending those meetings, the public are permitted in those meetings to speak when it comes to a certain section in that agenda. And there are certain things that have to be asked of and told to the public as far as appeal periods and things like that. So you'll see that. Committee of adjustment. So when council meets as committee of adjustment for minor variance applications, They're not meeting as council, they're meeting as committee of adjustment, but it is the same body, still chaired by the mayor, and it is also very prescriptive under the Planning Act. And from time to time, just so you're aware, the clerk or the mayor can summon a special meeting. We don't do very many of them. We try to organize everything into 2 meetings per month, but on occasion, we have a really timely matter that has to come forward, and then you would receive, now, we do provide 48 hours notice for those meetings, and again, we only discuss the one item that has to be discussed. So if we call a special meeting, we're not calling a special meeting and then dealing with a whole bunch of topics. We're only calling it for that special purpose. They're all open to the public. There is public here today. There's public that are watching our meetings on YouTube, except for very specific exceptions under the Municipal Act. So for negotiations, things like that, for instance, where, you know, if you were selling your house for $500,000, but you were willing to take $450,000, you don't really want people to know that. So you have to talk about that kind of stuff in close. Or if it has to do with an identified individual or something like that, we do have the right to go into closed to have those types of discussions. Once we're in closed, you are only talking about that one specific thing, or you're not going to go off topic on those different things. And that has to be done by resolution. In an open session of council, if we go into closed, we will ask everyone to leave. So we try to run them at the end of the meeting so people don't have to leave and come back and leave and come back. And if you have a declaration of interest for something that we're discussing in closed, you have to leave as well. If it's not if we're discussing something in open that you have a declaration, you don't have to leave the room, but I'll leave it up to you. If you have a face like mine, where it's hard sometimes for me to keep it under control and you're not allowed to influence if you have a declaration, you may want to turn your chair around, or you may still want to leave the room. That is your choice if we're discussing something in open session that you have a declaration on. So those are different types of meetings and conflict of interest. So I think I just went ahead and covered that. The inaugural meeting, so most of you have experienced it here now, where we ran through the committee appointments. So I think I already talked about who was on the various committees. Emergency management, so I will just quickly touch on, there's the emergency management committee. So that's the one that's going to be Councillor Epps and the CEMC, which is Erica Rice, myself, and the fire chief. And then we have the emergency operations committee, where if there is an emergency and we have to get together, it's not just the committee having a discussion about it, and we have to do an exercise every year. So Erica, our CMC, is putting together an exciting exercise this year that's going to be based on the game Jeopardy. So hopefully everyone can come out to that, and that's a provincial requirement. So when we
That'll be fun.
file compliance with the ministry, we have to file the resolution every year for appointing it. The rest are appointed for the term of council, and then we also have to file every year and say, yes, we did have an exercise.
So were you hoping to do that on the 6th?
Yes, on the 5th.
On the 5th, sorry, on the 5th.
Yes, if that works for everybody. So I think I've only heard back from Brent.
Very efficient.
Yes.
So our regular meetings, as we discussed, any information that's going to be put on the agenda, we need to have the Wednesday prior to. So the agendas go out on Thursday by the end of the day for the following meeting on Tuesdays, ensuring that council has enough time with the package material. But any information that has to go in there has to be received by 10 o'clock the day before. Otherwise, there's not enough time to look at it and get it into the package. Resolutions, motions, as you saw today, have to be formally moved and seconded and have to be passed by a quorum of council, which is 3 out of 5. Media sessions, so Terry's left now, but if he had stayed at the end of our council meetings, we do have a media session, but the only questions that should be asked are questions that are of information that's on the agenda. We really want to run the meetings as efficient as possible. We don't want to have them go on longer than what was anticipated on the agenda. So projects, ongoing projects. I know there's a lot on this list, but I just wanted to update you. We're working on our succession plan right now with all of our department heads. The tourism strategy is well underway. We have 2 sessions next week to sort of get that finished off. I do want to do a review of the mandatory. There's 7 mandatory municipal act policies. So I just want to review them. And I just haven't gotten around to that yet in the 3 years I've been here, because we've had a lot going on ourselves. Electronic meeting management, so you won't, anybody new won't have noticed the new agenda package and how it was aligned with the PDF and the HTML, but we have instituted that. And we're still working on upgrading the filing system for this year.
So the reason I'm laughing at it is that I opened it up and didn't even realize, because this is how we get them at county. So when I opened it, it didn't even dawn on me that I didn't have to do the unzip and go back and forth. I think this is going to make life so much easier.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it was 100% better.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, I'm
Yeah.
glad.
and you know that you can open your bookmarks on the side so that you can just click down, so you're not back and forth. It's fantastic. Yeah,
Good, that's good.
good job.
Very good, thank you. So I won't touch on a lot of the other stuff because it kind of crosses over into other departments, but I will say, the dog shelter review, that is still ongoing. We will have a report come back to council at the end of January, beginning of February. And the Lake Clear study as well, that is underway, so we will come forward back with that. And I think those are the two major administration reports that we'll be moving forward and coming back with. And a lot of the others, I'll let the other department heads speak on that. Acronyms, we talk lots about acronyms. I like that.
Not as many as the federal
When I
government.
saw this slide, I'm like, Tracy's gonna love that. They are not all acronyms, though. Some of them are initializations.
True.
Not as bad as the federal government.
Yes,
No,
no.
and, but this isn't even all of them.
No, I just added a few, and then I added a couple of websites to this that you can go to for additional acronyms, and there's even more and more and more. And that's just the way that the government works, so you will get used to them as we continue to use them, but
It's good shorthand.
yes. And website, so there's the 3 sites for acronyms I did add, and there's information on our website. Rather than print all of this out and give you a big binder full of paper, you see the staff and council relations policy, the official plan for the county of Renfrew, our new zoning bylaw, which comes with interactive mapping, which is fantastic. Just so you know, before we'd have to pull out the big paper map or look at the map online and refer to the bylaw. And now you can click on a property, find out what it's zoned, and then go to the section. It's great. Asset management plan is on there. We just redid that last year, and our operational review we did in 2020, our community improvement plan, and waste management information, because people are going to ask you. That's one of the most questions that we get at the municipal office is about the waste sites and when are they closed and when are they open and when,
Yep.
where, what can I take where? So I did include that there so that you have it for easy reference. Bylaws, the procedural bylaws, that's what governs our meetings. That's important to know. The code of conduct for council, procurement policies and procedures where we can sole source. Sometimes it is the best price that we can get, and it is the company that's going to get it to us in the time we need. But any sole source that's over a certain dollar amount has to come to council. That's where our tenders are going to be approved, and all of those processes are in there. The road standards bylaw is good to have, because then you can sort of see which roads are ours. I also provide you with the county mapping and information there. So that's nice to have a look at that. And the fee bylaw, because of course that's another question that people are always asking, how much do I have to pay for this or that, and why? Agreements, so we have agreements with our library, fire service agreements, lots of local clubs, county paramedics, because they have at least our building here, public works, leases our building up in Boymount, animal control, and the connecting link, we just did that one, recreation user fees. We are part of a unionized environment, just so you know, with our public works. So QP is involved there, and the Western Champlain Family Health Team also leases in the library. Now, most of these came up last year for renewal, so you might not see them until the end of your term, but just wanted to make you aware that they're out there. And same with our Ontario Provincial Police, we just renewed that for a 2-year term. Local service clubs, you probably know a lot of these already. With the pandemic, I didn't have a chance probably to meet with every single service club we have. So if there's any missing on the slide, anybody watching on YouTube, reach out to me. I did not leave you out on purpose. I just maybe haven't had a chance to get to know you and work with you yet. So these are a lot of our groups that I have been able to meet and work with, and they're amazing. Upcoming events. So I thought council should be aware of some of the upcoming events. happening in the next little while. Our tree lighting is gonna be at the tourist booth on December 2nd. Our, staff and volunteer Christmas party, some events going on at the library and the schools as well. Council and committee meetings coming up. We will have to set our 2023 meetings as well, which we'll do in the next meeting. Some fundraisers and the fact that the office is closed from December 24th to January 2nd. So just making sure you're aware the first 2 days of that week are stacked. So it's the 3 days that we'd be closing for. And then we would reopen on January the 2nd, the Tuesday, because again, that Monday is stacked. And the waste sites will be open that Saturday, which is Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. But they will be closed as well on the Sundays, the Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So I know that that will cause some friction, but they are open the day before and they are open the following Saturday. So hopefully everyone will be able to make that work. And we'll put the notice out in the paper and all of that to let people know. And that's all.
But you will get phone calls on Christmas Day.
Yes, we'll get complaints, why weren't you open?
Why isn't the Lake Clear transfer site open?
Yeah.
You will get a call on Christmas
And my
Day.
return comment, the weather was cold, set it aside and get it next week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that's middle of the summer.
And so all that I've provided on your desk are some maps. The current newsletter, the next one comes out January 1st. In your desk, you'll see Robert's meeting rules, Robert's rules, which is very thick. And as well, some closed meeting rules are there for your perusal if you'd like. Any questions you have. And, I think the rest of the departments will give you an overview of their departments and of the finances for the corporation.
Do you want to stop there and we'll just, before Daryl comes up? Hi, Daryl.
Hi.
Does anybody have any questions? And I can't see Counselor Epps, so just shout out.
I stopped sharing, but it's not,
I can see him on your screen.
yeah.
I think I'm okay.
You're good?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Annette? And I realize that I sit on the Rim High committee that I forgot to,
Well, no,
but it's not appointed anyway.
yes,
Okay.
that's right.
It just occurred to me. when-
That's more of a local group than a council committee, but
Yeah,
at
true.
some point it becomes a council committee, yeah, we should.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome, Daryl. Do you want to come and wow us?
Oh, boy.
And I've got to tell you, we're all so excited about having to do water and sewer training. It'll be like Christmas morning, Daryl.
Right. Well, for everybody that doesn't know me, I'm Darrell Rich,
Nice to meet you.
and I'm the manager slash chief operator and responsible overall for everything that goes on with the water and sewer system. Is that a good thing? I'm not sure, but anyways, I've been doing it for years. I have two operators, Dave Loader and Cody Tiedemann. They look after the daily operations and maintenance and so on and so forth. I have a fellow by the name of Andrew Polly that does our works part-time, and he looks after all our compliance and regulating changes and special projects and the drinking water quality management system. Lots of paper. Unbelievable. In the water system that's owned by the township. Sorry, I'm not big on reading this, so,
You don't have to read it, Daryl.
okay. It's anyways, we have one water plant. And we have one water tower. We have 555 connections thereabouts. Hooked onto all the pipes. The pressure is regulated through the water tower, so we really can't. Somebody's not getting enough pressure or too much pressure. We have no way of actually adjusting that because it's all pushed out of the water tower. The water plant was built in 1990. We did upgrades in 2010. We also did continuous upgrades. We now have a SCADA system. that was first implemented in 2010 and has been every 5 years it has to get an upgrade. So we've done that several times. The most of the distribution system was built in 1970. We got 13 kilometers of pipes. We put in the water meters in 2009, and we're in the process of changing out, replacing them because they're past their warranties. And the fellow just talked to me, and we have 25% of them already changed this week. So he said it's going really, really well. Sewage system, we started out with one plant, which was built in 1970 also. Then in 1995, the township, because one wasn't enough and we were having issues, it was recommended by the ministry that we put in a second plant. So we built a new plant in 1995. We did several upgrades to those plants since. We have 14 kilometers of sewer pipes. We have 4 pumping stations. The one we call North Side looks after every bit of water, sewage on the north side. So it's a very, very, very valuable thing. Was replaced in 1990 or 2005 from the original one. Then the other ones all had electrical upgrades, new pumps and so on in 2010 and so on. In 2009, we, which is not in here, I don't know why I forgot this, but we built, oh, there's a little bit of, we built a dewatering station, and that was to we could handle our own sludge. Before we were hauling to fields, and in the wintertime we had to haul to Ottawa, which was getting more expensive and harder to get done. So now we look after our own. We put it into these bags. It sits there for a year and a half is better, and we take it to our own landfill and use it for top cover. So, which is a good benefit to that too. So, I am big on soul sourcing. I just thought of that when I heard her talking, because everything that's in the plant, I have to have something that's compatible. So I always go back to the exact that was installed in the first place. Is it good? Most times it is, because it's getting so electronic over there that if you don't get exactly the same product, I have to go through an engineering system and try and get it up and running. And there's times when we have to change things and we only have 6 or 8 hours. So most of the time when you're working over there, it's a time frame. We fill the water tower, we've got to get this thing changed back online for the end of the day so that the water tower can be rebuilt again. We can't go for days and days and days without running the plant. That's what I'm saying. And the sewage plant is the same. It runs 24/7. You can't stop it. It just keeps on going. So, not the staff is responsible for monitoring and maintenance of the water and sewer systems, which is the collection system, pipes, manholes. We have like 66 fire hydrants. We're trying to replace a few every year. So we have to look after all those. They have to be flushed twice a year. Some of them have to be flushed maybe 4 or 5 times. And all this is a Ministry of Environment compliance. They tell us what we have to do, and we have to have records of that this stuff is done. So they are kind of a governing agent that slaps our hands if they don't like what we're doing. Don't think they ever pat us on the back, but they're the ones that
Yeah,
tell us everything that needs to get done. And we do reports, sewage plant. We have reports that go to the federal government every 3 months, reports that go to the Ministry of Environment once a month, and also every 12 months. Same with the water. The water gets every 12 months. All the sampling, everything is all laid out by the MOE, and you just have to pick your slot that you're supposed to be in and stay in it. The time frames, you can't alter from the time frames from when it was started by a few days here and there, but there's always a rule. If I start in January, I can't move it to May. I can only move like 3 weeks. And then maybe the next year I can move 3 weeks. I can't just jump because it's better. You have to stay where it is.
I
So
think that's a very good lesson for our new members. You will realize that we are creatures of the province and we have very little leeway. And when you see some of the reports that Daryl and his team do, it is something else.
So anyways, they dictate, they come minimum once a year, and they do a walkthrough and look at everything, check all our records, look at our reports. And they give us a report back, whether if they don't like something, if they really don't like something, it's a non-compliance. And then after that, they come with the ticket book. And but a lot of the time we can just, reason it out and retrofit it. Only once that I couldn't reason it out. And that's many, many years ago.
The septage, farmers don't want it for fertilizer anymore, or the province won't allow it?
Some farmers would take it. The problem is getting them to the fields at the right time.
Yeah.
That was our problem we were running into. It was getting, if it was muddy, then they'd get stuck, and we'd get stuck taking it to them and so on. This is better because if we feel like it, I call up the worst farmer, they send over a truck and a loader.
Where you go?
We go do 1 bag today and 1 bag maybe in 2 weeks or whatever, and then it goes right onto the dump.
For the benefit of the new councillors and the public, Mr. Andrew Polly is a retired inspector from the Ontario Ministry of Environment,
That's right.
and he fits in well.
Yes.
I go back with Andrew from 1997 when I was first elected in South Laguna Council and handed waste management to find out our waste site wasn't in compliance, and he gave me the time to put it into compliance rather than charging me.
Yes, he's an excellent asset to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Councillor Epps, do you have any questions?
I do. I would look forward to being able to tour some of the physical plant. I'm interested in the processes, so I hope we can do that someday.
Sure.
So the things you described, mostly the sewer and water, a lot of it has to do with Eganville itself. What do you do in the other municipalities? Are there fire hydrants in Foymount, for instance?
No, there is not.
Okay. So all of the sewer processing takes place at the Eganville plant.
Yes, only for the residents of Inglewood, yes.
Thank you.
Just for the public again, the septage treatment system was something that was invented, processed here in Bossier Valley.
That's right.
Bizarre. We have
Because
people from all over the world come and look at it,
Yeah.
from the US. It was something that was
and it
created
was,
here.
and it may spark back up again. It was because the government of the time was going to
Close us down.
close down.
Not issue building
field
permit.
for it.
Couldn't issue building permit.
So if it ever does come up again, we'll have to invest a little bit more money.
But
And
they've been talking about it since 2007.
exactly.
Yeah,
So, but we're like
We're
5 steps ahead of
right.
the beginning.
And
That's
to
good.
Councillor Epps' point, we will organize a road tour in the spring And we'll take you all over the township, show you our assets. Roads that will need to be rehabbed. Daryl does an excellent job of touring the water and wastewater facilities. So we'll set that up as soon as the weather is nice. We haven't done it in years.
No. It's been a few years.
Does anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Daryl. Excellent job as always.
Thank you.
Do we have Jason?
Jason's on his way, but I don't know if he's here yet, so I can always go grab Daryl.
The other Daryl, yeah.
And our septic system, we couldn't patent it because we got a government grant to help build it.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's a success
Actually, do you
story.
guys,
That's a success story. That's good to know.
it's amazing.
Thank
Do
you.
you want a break? Do you want
Okay.
5 minutes? You're okay?
Yep.
Please, Counselor Epson, Counselor Sanderson, if you ever need a break, just flag me down or flag the chair down and we can take 5 minutes. Daryl's gonna speed read so we can go back to the bush.
So if we have a moment while we're waiting for our next speaker, I wanted to speak to Annette. On the day that I come back from Moose Factory is a Tuesday. Unfortunately, they do their turnovers that day, so that'd be the 28th. And unfortunately, a Zoom meeting won't work. Is this appropriate to talk? Well, we've got a moment.
We'll do that on a break, if it's okay.
Okay, let's do it later, yeah.
We have the other Daryl, but keep that in your back pocket. We'll talk about that.
I just need to talk to Annette at the end of the day, that's fine.
No worries. All right, we have the other Daryl.
Well, good afternoon.
What time zone are you in?
Hunting time.
Yeah. So, for these that don't know, my name is Daryl Wagner. I am the CEO, bylaw officer,
Chief Building Official.
sorry, chief building.
We have to break in the initialization slowly,
Okay.
because there are a lot.
So in your package, you would have had, it's a breakdown of what typically what I do here. There are some requirements that are from the Ontario Code Act that puts me in the position. Planning Act as well. Gives me powers that I can go onto any property at any time I like, within reasonable time and just go and do inspections, stuff like that. So in a nutshell, so most of my job is, all of it is when the applications come in, I check them for completeness. Make sure all the documentation that I require is there. And there's plans review for building, septic reviews. And I issue the permits if everything's ready to go. And I inspect at various stages of the build to make sure that they're all in compliance with the OBC. There is zoning concerns that come in. A lot of it some of it we can deal with in-house. If we can't, then we take it up to the county if it's at a higher level. Another thing I do, monthly reports that come to council, impact and stats can. I also deal with civic addresses, so if someone wants a 911 sign. I haven't been doing them much this year, but I'm taking it on in the new year.
When I read this, I was going to phone Annette. I thought you weren't doing them, but now you're gonna be doing them.
In the new year. I
Okay.
just when I started in March, I needed to kind of navigate through to see, or I just started piling everything on.
Right,
So
okay,
then what I do is I go and I do a calculation and then I come up with the civic address and reach out to the county. And then when the signs come in, they are installed. General inquiries from people that call in all the time and just and I try to get back to them within 1 day. That's something I've always done. I reach out to them as soon as I can. Don't want to leave them. I'll do site visits with people to go over their projects. For my qualifications, I'm a licensed carpenter. When I started into this building, I had to go to Toronto for five weeks and write a whole bunch of ministry exams, and I'm still taking more to increase my education. I'm always regularly meeting with other county CBOs. I attend workshops and seminars, and I go to the OBA conference. which was in Hamilton this year, and next year it's in Niagara Falls. So for the past 2 years, our average permits for buildings subject to demolition are somewhere between 110 to 125 permits with a value between 10 and 11. So, and every year can be different. Next, you just don't know. So, and then some of the projects that I'm dealing with, there's one it's called cloud permitting. It's an electronic permitting system. So what that's going to do is people have to use their laptops to put the permits in. And if they are missing something, they cannot move forward. I've already taken most of the training. We're waiting for a soft start. There's probably going to be, I can't say a year of training the public, you know, just to get them on speed, and we go from there. So I also deal with bylaw. Bylaw is very much complaint driven. So once I receive a call, there is a bylaw form that they come in and they fill out, which sends me on my way. I do an initial assessment. I will take pictures, I will make notes. Then what I start with is a form letter, send it out to the person who's not in compliance, just to get a conversation started. And on the letter, there is a what they're in contravention of, a follow-up, and a completion date. And then again, it's just a conversation starter. I would rather use enforcement as a last resort. Because I'd rather have people come in compliance, but it is there if I need it. So, and then with parking, it's issuance of tickets as required. I know I'm going to be talking to Jason about winters because it's coming, to see exactly where the problem areas are and have to kind of stay on it. So, for animal control, I supervise our animal control officer and I assist when required. I know I'm going to be diving into that a little more this once the buildings comes to an end, and we're trying to get it so get some of the bugs ironed out.
Any questions for Daryl? Councillor Epps?
No, I want to know more about animal control, but I think that's coming up in future meetings.
It is too, sir, you are correct.
Thank you.
All right, anybody around the table? Excellent, thanks. Go and enjoy the rest of your vacation. But thanks seriously, thanks for coming in, Daryl. That was,
Well, it's not too bad.
no, I know, but it's still,
All right, see you on Monday.
all right. Why Monday? Oh, I see you on Monday.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, Jason, welcome.
Sir, I'm doing.
Good, how are you doing?
Okay, so I'm giving this. Roll now. So,
Okay.
John, also I have a bunch of maps for you also that we can put aside for you whenever you get back.
Good.
This is for when you get a complaint that Highway 512 isn't plowed and it's a county road, so that'll make your life a lot easier.
I'm gonna call you.
It is confusing because we've got 3 different road systems, right? Provincial, county, and municipal. Sandra's saying she doesn't even know them all. Yeah.
I get calls about the pound, so I'm already getting those.
All right, take us through your duties, Jason.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Zor, for everyone who doesn't know me. I'm the works superintendent who takes care of the roads and waste departments. I would like to welcome back Mayor Murphy, Councillors Brent Patrick and Mayor Buckwald. And I'd like to welcome new members, Councillor Tracy Sanderson and John Epps. I look forward to working with everyone. The roads department has 7 equipment operators, manager, and administrative assistants. The waste department has 1 sanitation driver and 7 transfer custodians. The driver and 1 assistant also work at the scenes. The township has a waste landfill facility and 5 transfer sites for waste and recycling, as well as a site for construction demolition, which is our signature site, and a hazardous waste depot that is open from
May
May.
Q4 to Thanksgiving.
We cut it back.
Oh, okay.
is it August or September?
No, it's the end of September. Our municipality has 280 kilometers of roads, which consist of 37 kilometers of seasonal roads, 115 kilometers of gravel roads, 95 kilometers of LCV, which is like a tire and chip road. And we also have 35 kilometers of asphalt. There is also 5 kilometers of sidewalks that we maintain in the village of Inaugural. Our storm drainage system includes 15,415 meters of storm drainage system in the village of Inaugural and the hamlet of Point Mountain. We also maintain approximately 8,424 meters of crossover culverts and driveway culverts in our rural road system. Our roads are kept in the best possible state as we follow and go beyond the Ontario Regs 39/02 minimum maintenance standards for municipal highway. So for our minimum maintenance standards, we have the guidelines that we go by for plowing snow, potholes, and it's mostly for snow and potholes and road maintenance stuff. We also have 3 garages, 4 winter sand sheds, 1 salt shed, numerous storage sheds all through the township. We mainly operate out of 94 Plymouth Road. Our fleet consists of 6 tandem plow trucks, 1 garbage truck, 2 graders, as well as pickups, loaders, backhoe, sidewalk machine, rubber tire excavator, mechanical sweeper, and a brusher. This year in 2022, the Augsburg Road has been completed with the monies from funding from OCIF and gas tax.
OCIF is the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund.
I haven't studied the acronyms yet.
No, I get you.
That's a province hand. Ted's throwing a bit of bucks too now and again.
Yes.
But you can see every department head has used shorthand in their reports.
We have replaced many culverts, patched holes, ditching, and applied gravel to roads as well this year and every other year as needed. Our new winter sand shed is completed, able to store approximately 1,800 tons. This will allow us to store more sand than we have in the past, which in turn is cost savings. The township has 6 waste facilities spread out over for the residents in the township. 5 are transfer sites for waste, recycling, white goods, metal and wheat, and Snowdrifter site takes all of the construction and demolition waste. We have started conversations on the new regulations with Blue Box coming in the next couple of years. We maintain buildings in the municipality, such as the library, municipal office, as well as regularly help out in other departments when needed, which sometimes delays department projects. We are responsible for the village banners, street lights, as well as all street signs throughout the township, to name a few of our department responsibility. In 2023, I will be budgeting for construction on Zotto Road from Silver Lake to Ruby Road, and possibly a section of Silver Lake. Also surveying and engineering plans for Welland Shore. We are also budgeting for new equipment such as a tandem plow truck, an excavator, a single drum vibrating roller, as per our 10-year capital plan.
Thank you, Jason. And just so that everybody's aware, WE is the acronym for electronic recycling. So old computers, TVs, that sort of thing, just so that everybody knows. Councillor Epps, did you have any questions?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody at the table? Go ahead, Murph.
This is just an operational one. Western Avenue, I noticed you've got it patched up with full patch a bit. What about getting that poplar out of there? It's plenty of feet or plowing in the wintertime, I would think. And maybe even create flooding if you have to still in the ditch.
On Western Drive?
Western Avenue, the Western Avenue, the one that was damaged.
Oh, yes, yes,
Awkward Keith.
yes, that's, yeah. So what we have to do there, Merv, is we have to go in with the excavator and we'll have to move all the wood that's left there. And there's also a driveway culvert we're gonna have to take out because it's gonna, the end is blocked. So we'll have to make sure that.
You can't get him to get his copper out of there?
We'll have to move it.
Because I think it's kind of valueless, if you will, because nobody wants copper now.
And I don't want to get into the weeds of operational today. This is for.
Yeah, I just wanted to get this on the way because the snow is coming.
Yeah, it's just, this is orientation. I want to make sure that everybody, yeah. You good? Thank you very much. Don't man me.
We also got an update, as of yesterday. So, there was some questions about the waste site facilities, the life expectancy. I thought there was,
Yeah, well, I asked that a couple
Yes.
of meetings ago, and it was supposed to be at the beginning good for about 25 years. I'm just wondering how it was coming.
yes, so,
Because if we have to go for another one, it took us 18 years to get that one.
yes, so, Damien does all our surveying.
Yeah.
So they were in the end of October, and we just finally got all the stats back. So Snowdrifters right now has roughly 6 years remaining.
Okay.
And, Ruby Road has 34.2 years.
Perfect.
Beautiful. And if we could recycle a little more, we get more license.
Yes, yes.
I'm worried about the future of recycling. There's no commodity
Yeah, nobody wants it.
unless it's metal. Thank you, Jason. Have a lovely afternoon. I feel like I cursed you with the snow after last week.
It's coming, so we'll just have to. go
Early,
down.
early December looks good though.
Yes, it does.
It's looking like it's gonna warm up quite like significantly.
Yes.
It's like plus 11, like third week, second week of December, so
Well, that's-
hopefully it comes.
It'll be up and down.
Yep.
Severe weather. But then- All right.
Thank you very much. We're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Okay,
I just took a sip of my water and there's something in my glass.
I probably wouldn't
We do good. Excellent. You just let me know and that
We're live.
we're live. All right, welcome Dana. I love the formally general.
Well, I
No,
wasn't
it's
sure, like, it's one of those things that, yes, a lot of people knew me as Jennings. So my name changed in September when I got married. So, just a little bit about me, I guess. When I came to the municipality in 2011 as a one-year contract for community development. It extended into a second year and I've been here ever since. So I did take over some of the administrative duties in the planning department in 2014 when Marilyn Castleman left to be the clerk for North Dakota Workers. Personally, I also have a daughter named Kitty, who will next week will be 22. So for the longest time, it was just her and I, we were the team, and then my husband Dave is now joined. So it's been a pleasure to work for Bon Valley. And we just, our team keeps getting stronger and stronger. So the activities that I do, a lot of it is planning and zoning coordination. So responsible for all the administrative duties surrounding applications pertaining to minor variances, the shoreline, and zoning amendments and road closures. So I highlighted it in 2022. We had 5 zoning amendments. We had 10 shoreline purchases. We had 1 shoreline lease, 4 minor variances, and 141 zoning inquiries. And we have also met with 3 potential developers in 2022. A lot of the time took our comprehensive zoning bylaw took a lot of time and public consultation. So we're very happy that that got passed in June of this year. Sorry, July. And it came official and we're using it, and the mapping is awesome from the county. So that's been kind of a godsend in the planning department. So I'm responsible as well for all the grant writing for all the departments within the municipality. So in 2021/2022, we were successful in securing funds in the amount, well, you have the amount in front of you, so it's quite substantial that what we've received. So
Say the amount so the general public knows.
$717,177. So that came from 14 various sources of funding. Of course, we were unsuccessful in securing funding from 7 applications. So total amount received since 2011, since I've joined the municipality is 7.2. So
$7.2 million.
that has came into.
I thought, I just off the record, I thought it was closer to 10.
Yeah, I was too. It's kind of
Yeah.
surprised.
I
but-
thought it was closer. I think once I reported that it was about 9, so I was off.
Yeah.
But 7.2 million is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money that's came in. And so with that, with the funding, there is reporting that needs to be done, final reports, progress reports. So, to keep on top of them, to report back to the government agencies, is quite substantial to keep on top of that. And that, that helps us to show where the money is spent. It shows where it's transparent and accountable to these organizations. And that helps us, keeping a good track record as well with the agencies so that we can, if future funds come available, that we can reapply. Right now, one of the things with the funding is we're doing a tourism strategy. As you know, Tracy, you've been instrumental in coming to the table on those. We will have our tourism strategy done by December. Richard Innes from Brain Trust has been the consultant that we hired to do so. So that's kind of exciting.
And he's coming to present in January, correct? That's fantastic.
Yes, and Richard will be doing 2 more sessions, community sessions at the end of November, the 28th and the 29th of November. So he will be back. We've been instrumental in doing things like rural rewards, the rural rewards program where people can pick up a card. It's promotion for Shop Local, doing monthly draws. We do contests. We partner with municipalities of Killu, Haggerty, Richards, North Dakota, Wilberforce, Brunel, Landaka, Raglan, Madawaska Valley, and we do deliver a series of contests. For example, like snow down, so people could submit their photos of their things that they created using snow. We did sensational. We just did a Halloween one, and we'll do one in Christmas. with little or no investment from the municipality as well. So doing it that way, we get the participation for competing against our neighboring municipalities for pride with our municipality, and the people are having fun with it. So I do a lot of coordination of events as well. One coming up would be the tree lighting. We help the Rotary Club with the Santa Claus Parade. Music in the Park, we brought back this summer from June till August. Great intake. We did a huge community event, was Taste of the Valley. You know, we had great attendance at that for the first ever. Communication, so we prepare the BV newsletter. It's bi-monthly, every 2 months. All the social media, the website, press releases, if there's emergencies, do all the digital display board, things of that nature. Also, the deputy issuer of marriage licenses and marriage officiant as well for the township. So the note that I found ironic in 2020 alone, we issued 94 marriage licenses, and that was COVID related, where the city of Toronto and the city of Ottawa were shut down. So people were coming here from those cities to obtain a license because they couldn't get it anywhere else. So I know there was an article in the Ottawa Citizen that called us the town of love, because you could come and get.
I did not know that.
I had to inquire because I was getting a lot of inquiries from Ottawa, and they said that there was a couple that received their license from here, that they went and did a promotion in the Ottawa Citizen for us, which was good good at that in a way. Yeah. But we were certainly glad to be able to help. Till COVID was tough, and that was something that we could do safely and help these couples get married. So I was pleased about that. Community improvement plan. So we do have a community improvement plan. It came from going to an economic development conference. Mayor Murphy and myself had went, and we came back and we put that community improvement plan into action. So,
And in my address, I linked the community improvement plan with the tourism strategy.
Yeah.
So that will be a priority in the new year.
Yeah.
To make sure that they align and see if we want to invest any more into the CIP. Because it's been 10 years.
yes,
Feels like yesterday.
I
didn't it?
know it does. It does. So I'm involved in a lot of outreach, attending monthly meetings, either with our partners like the Ottawa Valley Economic Developments Group, the Ottawa Valley Tourist Association. I sit on the Eatonville Area Community Development Group, the Rural Remote Mental Health Addictions Initiative Group. We work with other groups like the Ontario Highlands, the Farmers Market, the Senior Needs, the Museum, the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa when it's up and running and delivering programs via like Camp Smitty, which again, we hope to be able to deliver this coming year. COVID had hurt Camp Smitty last year. They were just not able to have staff in place to run the camp. So hopefully, we can get that up and running. Rotary Club, the library, the Authors Festival, the Horticultural Society, Employment Services, the Gilder Research Center, and the Training and Learning Center.
Thank you. All right, Councillor Epps, did you have any questions for Dana?
Yes. So from your talk, I understand you applied for 21 grants and were successful in 14.
Correct.
Good. How do you find out which grants you can apply for? Who does the groundwork in finding out where these grants come from?
I do.
Okay. Did they have a
Normally how the grants come, you find them from a variety of sources. That could be emails coming from the Ottawa Valley Tourist Association, the Ottawa Valley Economic Development Partners. It could be from FedDev Ontario itself, because I've subscribed to those type of agencies as they release their funds. And it could be word of mouth of just somebody on the street as well. Hey, did you know about this program?
Very good. One final question. There's two Facebook, you mentioned that our Facebook presence, the municipality's Facebook presence. There's It Takes a Village and there's Eganville Local. Are one of those the site you referred to?
No, what I'm referring to is the Township of Boncher Valley itself Facebook page.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any questions? That was all you had, Councillor Epps?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Any questions from around the table?
Were you here when Harper was Prime Minister and had the stimulus program? I don't think you.
I don't think so, Merv. I think that was before my time.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's where we get the 10 million. Because we had applied and I was talking to some neighboring mayors at a meeting, and how did you make it? We did okay, we got 80,000. The other one said, we did okay, we got 50,000. How did you make it? Well, we didn't do bad, we got 3.5 million.
All right, anything further? Nope. Thank you, Dana.
You're welcome.
Does somebody know how to use the digital sign while you're off?
Yeah, it does.
Such a great tool.
If council is not aware, Monday, I'm going for surgery. I'll be off for a little bit. But hopefully I'll be back as soon as possible.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You'd be in our prayers, Dana.
Thanks.
Kevin McGrath.
You're bringing Kevin, or you just,
Oh.
fire chief is there?
Oh,
as
I
well?
didn't realize the fire chief was there. Kevin, do you mind waiting? All right, Dave, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Excellent. All right. You want to take us through your report, please?
Sure. First, I'd like to welcome new council, returning members and new members, and I look forward to a great 4 years. So I think I apologize for being in my truck. My business is far too loud to be set up in our waiting room right now. So I think I did a fairly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good, Dave.
Okay. I think going through our department, I did a fairly concise summary as to what we're about, what we have, kind of our locations, and the equipment that we use. One of our priorities, and it's always a priority, is staffing. Where we have literally a ongoing recruitment process. We're like any other small town department. There's a fluctuation in numbers constantly. People get jobs out of town, and people have changes in their lives, and they move on, and that's the nature of it being a part-time job. So that's always a struggle. It doesn't matter where you go. One of our big projects that's going to be upcoming, we'll be looking at doing something with our Station 2 because of the fact that the department has outgrown it. Or it's outgrown it, but it will certainly be outgrown when we have to buy another pumper for that facility. So the garage is far too small up there to house a new truck along with our rescue van. We've done well over the last half a dozen years or so renewing equipment. We're in good shape with our SCBA, which is our breathing apparatus. Radio communication system, like I noted, was recently completely upgraded to new. And our PPE, which is an ongoing thing, bunker gear order, I think might be there today or it might be coming in tomorrow, but it was ordered in 2021. So it's a constant challenge with supply chain issues, getting some equipment. Actually, and most of the stuff does originate in the States, and it's definitely a challenge to secure things and then get it up here and in a reasonable, timely manner. When especially things such as important as bunker gear, we need to keep on top of that because our members need to be in up-to-date certified gear to be able to respond to fires. So that's certainly something that's been a challenge. So Station 2 Fire Hall, which is one of our future things, future infrastructure projects that I know Annette has started to do some preliminary work on that, and she can speak to that. I'm not exactly sure what she's put out yet, but that's going to be one of our big projects moving forward in the next couple of years, and will require quite a bit of legwork towards that. So we're also in a bit of the whole province is in a bit of a conundrum, for lack of a better word, with the provincial regulations that have come down for firefighter certification. That is going to be a big job to get everybody that's on the department certified, and then certify people on an ongoing basis as they join the department. And that has been something that's been back and forth with different provincial governments over the last few years. And the regulations finally come into effect, and so it's something that we're going to have to work forward doing, and it's going to require some money. So I have already for lack of a word here, already put out a request for the grant. There's a grant process right now. They've opened up some money, and we've already made an application for that to help with learning materials and with laptops and whatnot. So I haven't heard back yet as to when that is going to be approved or not. So, but other than that, I don't know if anybody has any questions as to my report instead of reading it. I'm sure.
Appreciate that, Chief. Just so that everybody's aware, under agreements, MNRF is the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry. You got it? Okay, good. Just wanted to, and the chief also used the term PPE, that's personal protective equipment. They call it bunker gear or turnout gear, depends on who you're talking to. So just to clear those two up. Councillor Epp, did you have any questions for the chief?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Anybody around the table? Okay, thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Get back to work. It's pretty sad when you gotta sit in your truck. All right, Kevin, thank you for your patience. Yeah, this is awesome, Matt. Fantastic.
First, I'd like to thank the returning members of council and welcome the new councilors, John and Tracy. Welcome aboard, and the journey will begin.
Let the games begin.
So I'll tell a little bit about myself. I started with the Village of Eagle in 1990, and so I've been with the Works Department up till 2017, and then had an opportunity to move to recreation. So I went over there, and just where I am today. So that's a little quick intro. So, anyways, the recreation department, as you can see, staffing, we have 2 full-time, part-time, and lots of summer students over the summer projects. User groups, as you can see, we connect to a lot of user groups within the township and municipality. Some are outside of our municipality, like Toy Boss and Kidaloo. Music in the Park, I heard Dana touching base on that, so we sort of cross over. She gets contact with the entertainers, we'll do the setup and move forward on that. Responsibility of the youth center facilities, the tourist booth, Centennial Park building, library, the curling club, which is under a big project right now, and it's a work in progress. That's all I can say. It's moving along. In other spots, we have our parks, McCrae Park, the Legion Field, Rotary Building, Geo Trail, So plus we have two beaches up at Lake here, Beagle Beach and Wyland Shore, which we put markers out for the from July till 1st September, and we bring them back in once end of August comes. Now the arena runs 7 days a week in the winter time, starting usually mid-September, goes through the end of March. We have, once January comes, we have 6 hockey tournaments consecutively every Sundays. It's all minor hockey. We run public skating every Sunday too. Other than on those tournaments, we will just shift them to other times. Canteen, we have tendered the canteen out to Renfrew Junior Bees, Ryan, Leonard, and Catherine. Steve Gurr is the skate sharpener at the turtle booth there, so he's looking after that. During the summer, once the ice goes out, during the summer, we hold other events on the ice surface, fundraisers, wedding receptions. If sometimes a group of gentlemen come in and do fly fishing too early, and they set up and they do that on the ice surface before we get set up for any other events. We're currently working on a net zero program, project, I should say, with the curling rink and the Inaugural arena at the arena, and it's the energy wise. So it goes from lighting to heating, temperature of water, flooding and that. So we're just gathering information and putting everything on the table, and consulting is giving guidance. So we'll see how much funding we get for those projects. The Eagle's Nest is used year round for many of functions, from seminars to birthday parties to anniversaries to weddings. So it's booked year round, not all the time, but it's always pretty steady. So up in Foymount Park, it's a smaller park, but this year we're installing a new playground. It's ordered already, so
It's only taken 12 months, 13 months.
yeah.
So if you're ever asked about the Foymount Park, that is a priority,
Yeah.
because it was ordered literally, I think,
It
in
was-
February.
Might have been May, June kind of deal.
Oh, okay, so it was
Like,
earlier than that.
but it was right around there,
It's-
but even so, it was,
That's crazy.
yeah, at
Yeah.
that time, they told me 2023. So I said, okay, well, it's not here yet, so we're not far from 2023.
Does that include the surface too, where I think it's basketball? The basketball net, right, the court, is that correct?
There is tennis courts to the
Okay.
side, that needs a little bit of tender love and care, than like the playground itself, it's just sand, and that's where the play structure is going in. And the Opeongo Park too is a new play structure there, plus we have a paved area there, and there's hockey nets there so kids can play. We put in a basketball net there with requests, so we put one in and it's getting utilized. Cormac Park, it's a smaller park, just a couple picnic tables. It's a nice spot just to stop, and there is an outhouse there, and maybe we could look at doing some upgrading to that down the road. And the Legion Field, ball fields, the soccer fields. This summer, we had great numbers in minor ball plus soccer. In the ball, there was around 130 kids played minor ball, and soccer there was about 125, give or take. But like, the ball fields are used at least 4 out of the 5 nights a week, and the soccer is every Wednesday night. So it gets well utilized. And then with the splash pad is another drawing card for once the kids are done playing there, they come over and cool off in the splash pad. Actually, we extended the hours for till 9 o'clock, because normally it's at 8 o'clock. So we extended another hour. So in July and August, when there's a little lighter, or I should say July, it's lighter longer. So the extra little time gives them time to play. Now for the, for Eganville, the lighting of the tree lighting of the trees, Dana touch base on that, we work with the works firm on putting the lights on the bridge and, which will be going on in next couple weeks. Our tree lighting is Friday night, the 2nd of December. And the tourist booth, I wrote in last, in 2020, we had 1,151 tourists come through the tourist information booth. So it was, that was a good attendance of people coming through. I'm not sure if anybody's tasted the beaver tails at the tourist information booth. He's there sporadically, so he's, and one thing about Nick from Beaver Tails, he donates back to the community, and he donates, it varies 8 to 10%, and he donates to the clothing bank and to the food bank. So money's coming back into the community, so it's well worth it to have them there because it's coming right back to the local people.
And they're delicious.
They're very good, yes. Dana kind of touched some of the stuff I heard her saying about the taste of the valley and that up at the Legion Field. So we work together at the farmers market. We coordinate with what's set up, whatever they need to, like any recommendations they need, we accommodate them, like extra garbage cans or traffic control on the bigger events, which was Taste of the Valley. We did our own traffic control. So just little things that over and above when you have an event, there's always things that pop up that you need to continue on. We have our annual golf tournament in August. It's not over I think we're 26 years now it's been running. So it's a great event. And like, the Canada Day celebrations, we help out. Usually the fireworks, we need to do barricades or close the roads. We're here to we help them out in those events. Normally they sing "O Canada" at the back of the rink. We bring speakers out and set up, and they sing "O Canada" at the back of the rink. Jen is there too. She
Jen does not sing "O Canada." I lip sing "O Canada." Nobody needs to hear me sing. We normally bring a special guest to sing "O Canada," and it was Peyton Schweigert this year, and she did such a fabulous job.
No, she did very
Yep.
very well. Anyways, that's kind of like the highlights in my report. Like I didn't touch them all. There's a lot, anyways, any questions?
Thank you, Kevin. Councillor Epps, did you have any questions for Kevin?
Of course. The public skating at the arena, I've seen different names of sponsors. So how does that sponsorship program work?
What we do with that, John, is we go out to our local businesses and we'll start that in probably September, and we go out and see it, ask them if they're willing to or would they like to sponsor public skating, and it's $130 for the hour, and right now we only have about 2 dates that are left, and we have it right to the end of March. So we get an awesome response from the public and local businesses.
That's great.
I'll do one of those dates. You didn't ask me. You normally ask me. Great question, John. Anything further?
Nope.
Excellent. Anybody around the table? Okay. Thank you for your overview, Kevin.
Thank you.
That was great. And I think the only one we have left is Sandra.
I'll probably just come closer.
Do you want to bring your laptop over?
I'm good.
Okay. No, I meant for your headphones.
No, I should be okay.
Okay.
I might be okay. So you asked me a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so welcome and congratulations to all of these again. Okay, so I am the deputy CAO, deputy clerk, deputy treasurer. I've been with the township for 24 years.
I ensure fiscal accountability to the citizens of Boncher Valley. Primary responsibility include calculating taxes, utility billings, collecting and allocating revenue in accordance with the budget and rates approved by council, paying all debts of the municipality and other expenditures authorized by the municipality, maintaining accurate records and accounts of the financial affairs of the municipality, and providing the council with such information with respect to the financial affairs of the municipality, and ensuring investments of the township are made in compliance with the regulations made under section 418. I act in as CAO with Annette is away, and I serve on the Police Services Board, the Tax Policy Working Group, and the County Group's Benefits Committee. So in the Finance Department, there's also Connie Brown, who's the accounting clerk. Connie's been with us for 14 years. Connie's primary responsibilities are accounts payable, accounts receivable, and maintaining the financial records for the Eganville Generation Corporation. And Connie is Erica's primary backup accounter in incoming calls. We also have Erica Rice, finance admin assistant, who's been with us for 3 years. Erica's primary responsibilities include managing the front counter, importing electronic payments into taxes and water, responding to incoming calls, mail, and banking. Erica does payroll and water billings for me when I'm away. And Erica is also the lottery licensing officer, a deputy marriage licensing officer, and the community emergency management coordinator. And when it all goes south, Erica's gonna.
It's all on Erica.
It's all on Erica.
Yeah, poor Erica.
Yeah. So the principles of financial management are similar but not identical in the private sector to the public sector. And as a municipality, we have to be accountable to public. Our auditors are McKillican and Associates, and they perform a full audit every year. And that's to gain assurance on the financial integrity of the municipality. So I usually coordinate that. They come in the fall and start the prep work. They come back, I think it's February, and finalize everything. And then we have our financial statements in our FIR, because our fiscal year is January 1st to December 31st.
And just to make matters a little more complicated, the province's fiscal year is April 1st to March 31st. So there are often times that our finances don't align with what the province has done. And I'm not sure why we haven't switched as like all 444 municipalities, or why the province haven't. It's off. It's off. Yeah.
It is. It would be nicer if it was the same.
Yeah, it really would. It would be very helpful, especially for budgeting.
Yeah. So the 2022 budget, the summary of our revenue was 7.5 million. As well as that was our expense. We have to have a balanced budget every year. And just if you can look at my pie chart, just for the revenue, really just under 50% of our revenue comes from taxes. A lot of the rest of it is grants.
Partnership fund.
Yeah.
Okay, so the big yellow pie that says OMPF, that is the Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund. And it is 1.5 million, and we hope it is again this year. I got the notice from Steve Clark, but I didn't get the amount. But you can see how much we rely on that fund. And it was one of our lobbying efforts, Annette and I at AMO, ensuring from the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing that we will keep that fund at least through 2023. But if we lose it, we're going to have a very big problem.
But isn't part of that fund when the province reduced farm taxes to 25%? And we said, hey, we're losing all this money, and they said, raise the taxes. Right? And this is
It was also
the province throwing in some money now to make up the 25% farm taxes.
it was also the download of the OPP.
Yes, and the download of the OPP.
We need a place to download.
Well, and you touched on something so important, Sandra, that every other level of government can run a deficit. We cannot. And so again, the differences in our budgeting times is very, very, very complicated.
losing 18,000.
Really? We lost 12 last year.
We're still 1.5.
I know, but still. Right.
So at the end of 2021, we had just over $2.3 million in loans. We've done a bit of borrowing this year for some equipment, a loader, some trucks, some fire extrication equipment, about 526,000, and the water meter replacement. The quote was for about 325,000. So needs to come in there under budget. So we have a capital reinvestment reserve strategy. In August 2019, Capital Council adopted the capital reinvestment reserve strategy to aid in the long-term tangible capital asset renewal. And they also adopted a 1% levy increase each year to fund the reinvestment reserve for capital. And then in 2021, Council passed a resolution to allocate any surpluses in the to the capital reserve. So that's great. It goes right in there now and we don't have to worry about it.
And one of the, again, touching on the province as opposed to us, the important thing about our reserves and reinvestment is that when we apply for a grant, there is always a municipal portion that has to be paid. And the challenge is that we don't budget that we would have to add 35,000 to get 75,000 from the province. So that's where those reserves are so bloody important, so that when we get the grant, that we have the money that hasn't been budgeted for, that we have the money to put in, so we don't have to say to the province, we can't take that money.
So our reserves at the end of 2021 were just over 4.5 million. They're also great for cash flow.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Because sometimes
Absolutely.
the government takes a very long time to give us back our grant money.
Yes.
The Forest Shoot project took a long time to come back. I don't know what they were doing with it, but it took a long time. So for water and sewer financial plan, in 2021, council approved the water plan for 2021 to 2027. 2.5% a year increase for operations and a 1% increase for capital. For 2023, the capital need, according to the plan, should be 228,000 and sewer at 130,000. And that budget should be coming soon. So taxes. Once council has established the budget for the year, the rates are adopted. Calculate the tax rates for the year, and there are multiple different rates: residential, multi-residential, commercial, industrial, farm, managed forest. In 2022, we collected just over 2 million for the county and almost $900,000 for the 4 school boards. So the total of the 2 sets of tax bills that went out was almost 10.5 million. So we do the tax bills twice a year, March and August. There's 2 installments per bill, which seems to be tricky for people, but that's the way we've always done it. And then if the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation or MPAC adds, they can add or remove assessment through the year. So then we do those billings in accordance to the rules. If they reduce it, you get a reduction. If they add it on, you get an extra tax bill. And tax arrears. I won't read that whole thing for you. I will just point out, so originally we started harassing people if they were in 3 years of arrears. The legislation changed, it went to 2 years in arrears. We're still really only focusing on in the 3rd year at this time. The commitment to backing that out would be a lot. So like right now, I think there's 54 properties on the list that are going to be 3 years arrears come January. So 54 is a lot to deal with. I don't know. I haven't ran the report to see how many people would potentially be on it. So just for staff, that's why. And in 2022, we did sell 2 properties under the tax sale process. Asset management plan. So we just got a new one in 2021. It's to allow us to get the most out of our capital assets. The total replacement value of all our assets would be, if we went to do it right now, would be $179 million. The historical,
I love everybody's face. Really?
so what's in our books is the historical cost of the assets, which is 73 million. The 179 million is probably even up now, with
Oh.
all the inflation.
Guaranteed.
So the asset management plan set out a requirement of a $1.42 million every year investment. And in 2020, this year, we funded it, 176,000 came out of taxes and fees, 116 was federal funding, 511,000 from the province, 300,000 from loans, and 317 from our reserves. I have 3 ongoing projects right now. So iCity Vatum is our software, a specialized municipal software that we use. So I'm working with them right now to import our new water meters into the system. I'm hopeful that goes well. The other 2 is we're going to upgrade the water department when they do their drive-by reading. They're using a software, but we're going to upgrade to Neptune 360, which is supposed to be a better software. And then Daryl's going to be able to see more about the water meters, more reporting and stuff. So if somebody's got a leak, he can, I believe it's got a more detailed report. So he's going to be able to see when it leaked, and as opposed to now, we know it leaked, but we don't necessarily know the specifics. So we're anxious to get that one loaded.
Yeah.
We're also working for the implementation of iCity Online, which will, I think we're not even ready till about March of next year. It's been a long project. So taxpayers and water can log in and they can look at their own accounts. Self-serve.
Love it.
And council remuneration. The monthly honorarium and the council meeting rates. And council is paid on the last day of every month, except in December. That's early.
I like the exclamation. December is earlier. That's great, Sandra. Good job. All right, Councillor Epps, did you have anything for Sandra?
Always I'm first. Okay, I do.
Well, just because you're on the screen, so I want to get you.
That's fair. So I want to comment first. We only had 2 tax sale properties dispensed in the last year. That's quite impressive. That means we're offering good value, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Okay, now for the questions. You mentioned you're the deputy treasurer. Who's the treasurer?
Annette.
Annette.
Oh, okay, so you're the deputy to everything that she is. Got it. All right. In the reserve, in the pie, the green reserve slice of the pie was mentioned at 10%. I thought at first that was also just a different form of taxes, but that reserve 10% represents money that we put into reserves that wasn't required, so it goes back into revenue.
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Okay.
Sorry, Sandra, can't hear you, so I'm just answering.
Oh, I see. Yes, that's good. And finally, when we sit down, we 5 sit down to work on our next budget, that will then be the budget for calendar 2024.
No, for 2023.
2023.
So we will start our budget in either late January or early February. But we can't ratify, and I mean, it's a budget in principle, but then we don't ratify our budget until after the county ratifies theirs.
Okay. I just wondering how we'll be working on the plan for budget 2023 in 2023.
Yes, and unfortunately, because we don't have our audited financial statements, we don't know what our surplus or our deficits are. It's very hard to budget before the year begins. In fact, I don't know of many, I think of 2 municipalities that start their budget before the end of the year.
Okay, that'll do for now. I'm sure Sandra and I are going to talk more about this. Again, it interests me greatly. It's an important part of our job, and I'm not right on top of it yet.
No worries, you will enjoy the budget process that I put in place my very first year, and I think it works very well as long as everybody comes to class prepared.
All right.
Okay, anybody at the table? Where do you think you're going? We're not done with you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Here, yeah, because if you can hear me. Is that actually-
Yeah,
I just wanted to mention one thing, that we pass a bylaw in January or February. It's an interim taxation bylaw, and what it says is that we can collect up to 50% of last year's budget, and we can spend up to 50% of last year's budget. So that's sort of what, as we're working towards 2023, we're not sort of in a crunch where we can't spend any money. We're not gonna spend any massive capital or anything like that without council's permission. We're gonna carry on with operations, but we are allowed to spend, once that bylaw is passed, up to 50% of the previous year's budget. And that's how we kind of move forward in January, February, March, until we get, the council's approval for the future budget. Just for you and Tracy's information, if you're wondering, well, how do you spend money in 2023 when you haven't passed anything?
but the other challenge is we generally don't get the education tax amount from the province until March, February.
Yeah, February, March, yeah.
Yeah,
But the water and sewer billing, that will be coming forward in December.
Yeah.
Because we like to have it passed by January, because we implement the new rates in February. So that one comes sooner, and they're 2 separate budgets, 2 separate sets of rates.
Yes, and the water and sewer budget does not depend on any other level of government, where our taxation budget does.
Perfect.
I was just gonna say for that, the public and Tracy, at the end of the fiscal year, December 31st, you've got no money. You can't carry the previous year's money over, right?
If there's a surplus that goes into reserve.
Yeah, it goes into reserve. So that, I'm surprised that people haven't questioned, well, how come you guys borrow all this money every year?
But that again
But
goes
we need
back,
it to operate.
but that again goes back to the 2 different fiscal year ends, which has never made sense to me ever. All right, anything further from anybody?
I have to do some research, obviously.
We'll walk you through it. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, anything for any of the department heads through Annette? Counselor Epps, are you all good?
I'm good.
Excellent. Alrighty then, let's go back to our agenda, number 12, correspondence A. Anything on correspondence A? I did want to, what I'll do is at our first meeting in December, one of the things that I promised Tracy and John was that I would take you through county council. There is a county council summary in your package that really speaks to what each department does. And you'll see that in October, Councillor Hunt had to do the finance and admin. I'm the chair of finance and admin. But unfortunately I had COVID, so I was on screen. I wasn't in the room. So Councillor Hunt presented. But I will also say on the county council level, Peter Emo has been acclaimed as the warden for 2023. So we're really excited about that.
And the inaugural's open to the public.
The inaugural is open to the public and it is next Wednesday, November 23rd. All right then. I'm not gonna get into Bill 23 because it just makes my blood boil. Correspondence B. Anything in correspondence B? I think that we do need to talk about the request for the mural, that needs a,
I just need some staff direction.
right.
No, that's like, I would just say that's fine as long as it comes back, and I would say like the focus on Bonshore Valley or something. For the mural, like something of our history, if we're gonna approve one,
It's already been done.
for the approval on it.
No, the mural, didn't you already?
The mural has been painted.
Yeah.
I don't have a picture of the mural, but it has been painted, and unfortunately, the artist that painted all of our murals is
Passed
now
away.
passed. But I can get a picture of it for the library board for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I thought you did have a photo, my apologies.
I have a photo of the wall where they wanted to put it, which I think has been approved by the board. I think everybody's in agreement to the placement of the mural, but I don't know that the library board has seen the picture of the mural, so I will get that and pass it on to the library board for final approval. If council is fine with moving ahead, because it's the library board, but it's our building, so that's why it had to come to council for, if I can get staff direction to move ahead, then that is what I will do and work with the board and work with Eganville and area and make it happen.
Who was the artist that did the mural?
Catherine Kazabowski.
Thank you. Yeah, she did the one on the tourist booth as well and on the building downtown. Did there
No.
more than 3 that we have?
Didn't Genevieve
Oh,
Townsend do the one on the building?
okay. You
You
could
know
be right.
what? No, we've got to find that out though. Dana would know for sure,
Okay.
but yeah, it's,
Perfect. Yeah, I will work with the 2 groups to get it to.
When were they hoping to install it?
now,
Sounds good.
yeah. Okay. Anything further on correspondence B?
I think I need staff direction on number 5.
On the number 5, yes, you do.
And I realize Jason has already come and gone, but just so you're aware, before I put any request that has to do with any department head, whether it's roads, building or anything, I always have discussions with the department head first. And if they have concerns, then they would be addressing them. So there are no concerns over this unless council has concerns.
I had no concerns.
It's an access issue for a severance.
No, it made sense. And then I guess I just had so for the notice of official plan amendment number 35.
Yes,
So just the comments for that. So that's through the county, obviously.
it
yes.
is.
It's just a lot of it just looked like it was just rewording a fair bit of things.
There was a lot of housekeeping. That's why they gave you the bold and
Yeah.
strikeout. Yeah.
But it's amazing to read the list of all the, I guess you would say, barriers to do anything in our area or province. Like you actually read, and I think it's kind of ironic that it's one point they put in this list is not to be overbearing some or something. along those lines.
Yeah, no.
And it's just kind of ironic because they already know that there's too much, I guess, red tape.
It's a long list.
But no, I just thought it's interesting. It's something that I think we should be reviewing even farther. And I think across all municipalities, just.
But are there any concerns? I have reviewed with staff and my intention is to sign back to the county. So we have no concerns of their current review. And there is a public meeting coming up as well, on December 21st. So, unless council has concerns, that's my intention.
No, there's no concerns with it, but I think it's something that we do. I think that we have to address as a council down the road is just on like, how do we kind of promote the removal of some of the red tape to make it cheaper and actually like you look at your affordable housing letter. It's just like, for example, you're trying to promote affordable housing, but if you're having 30 different studies to do anything where it's not common across North America, then I think that's something that we need to review if we want to actually have affordable housing in this area across the board. So I think it's just something we can look at as 4-year, but no, like everything within it, it makes sense for what we're given right now, but I think that we have to,
Go further.
I think we have to go farther and actually review it, how we can actually make it affordable.
And
Because it's nothing's affordable right now.
well, and when you're talking about a new official plan or an official plan amendment, you have to remember that OPA 31 took from 2006, it was pre-me, and I would say my 3 years as warden, that's basically, except for the flooding and the tornadoes, that's what I worked on. It was constant meetings
Yep.
with the province, and we thought we were lucky to get to where we are, and it is shocking, but I don't disagree with you, but it's going to take more than just Bonnechere Valley or a couple of partners. It's a lobbying effort at the county level because it's a county document.
Oh, 100%. It is county document. And I think it's just more on our end. We just have to, it's like, if we don't say anything, our voice is never gonna get heard.
Oh, I
there's-
don't disagree with you.
And thing is, I remember back 4 years ago when you guys were reviewing at the county level the official plan and all the amendments and the additions and the pages and pages of changes, but I think it's just something when you read it, even within the notes, it says that this list might be overbearing or whatever the exact wording is. So I think it's ironic that you have to even put that in.
Yeah, it's kind of a depressing list.
Well, it is, especially when you're trying to like, say, bring people to the area to
Yeah.
do anything. And
Yeah,
you're reading
exactly.
through all the fine print where you can go to like other sections of North America and there isn't this many restrictions.
Well,
Like
and,
that's the thing, and the standards of living is the same, but it's actually affordable.
and the joke of some of it is that now they want to push the strong mayor's bill, which I am completely opposed to. And so does that, right? So does that now mean that a mayor has veto power over the OP? I don't believe it does, but then why are you, anyway,
It's kind of, you look at that list, if you're looking at alternative types of housing, whether it's tiny homes and thinking
Yeah.
of different ways of living, because the younger generation, they are looking at those types of housing alternatives.
absolutely
When
they
you look
are.
at that list of red tape, it's almost impossible,
Yeah,
and it's disheartening.
Well, it's just getting the land to the point that you can put a tiny home on or anything like that, right?
Or
Like,
10
look,
tiny
just-
homes on it, if that's what you need.
well, and the
You know?
other irony is that this government was supposed to be the government of red tape reduction.
Yes.
They actually have a minister of red tape reduction. And every time we go to Amor or Roma, we say, give us the list of the things that you took off, like reporting requirements, et cetera, et cetera. And I believe we still have not received that list.
We did receive some
Oh,
information on that list, but yes, a
It-
lot of it is not, so a lot of it is, it's reporting they've said they've reduced it here by 12 reports, but it's the same report, it's just the report is done monthly.
yeah,
So I think they've counted a lot of reports, in my opinion, multiple times. And that's,
it did not speak to the amount of reporting that Minister Clark spoke at, right? Okay, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
anyway,
and none of those reports affected our municipality of Montreal Valley, so they were larger reports at larger
Yeah.
centers, so none of our reports were cut.
exactly.
Um,
So I think you've got direction on number 5.
yes, number 5.
Direction on number 4.
Yeah.
We're obviously not happy about OPA 35. And anything further on correspondence?
Sorry, we're okay with OP 35. We just wanted
Yes,
to go.
sorry,
further.
we're not
Directions.
happy, but yes,
Yeah,
Okay,
just go.
concerns with it, but we want me to make comments to the county to say, we want to see further reduction, in the future.
Well, 100%, or just continue lobbying for that, or there will be no affordable development.
Yeah, that's good.
it's crazy. Anything further on correspondence? Okay,
And number 2, excuse me.
oh,
To your reporting requirements.
Yeah.
That's another one that we do. I think what they're proposing, I'm not going to make any comments. I appreciate what they're proposing, because when we have to report every year on 2 years ago,
yep,
it's confusing for us because we're now in this year. And so they're gonna change it to you're only reporting on the previous year, which I do believe will make it easier for us, although we're always a year ahead of ourselves. But other than that, I'd rather us not have to report our energy reporting every year, but that doesn't seem to be in the plans. I could comment that.
yeah, it's no different than our FIRs.
Yeah.
Right? We're dealing with financial indicator reports, but they're 18 months old.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Annette. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November, whereas direction has been given to staff. Now be it resolved, the correspondence be filed. Mover and seconder, please. Counselor Patrick, Counselor Buckwald. Anything further? All in favor? Thank you, council. We have no new business. We have no closed session. I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November 2022 that bylaw 2022-072 being a bylaw to approve an electronic monitoring policy. Bylaw 2022 that
Sorry,
that's not right.
No, that whole resolution is.
That's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, as I was reading it, I'm like, I already did that. That's okay.
But they are
It's
on
fine.
the agenda.
I'm fine. So we're passing bylaw 2022-077, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 2022-042, bylaw 2022-078, being a bylaw to appoint a committee of adjustment, bylaw 2022-079, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council, be read a first time, be deemed read a second time, be deemed read a third time and passed. And I need a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Sanderson, Councillor Epps, excellent, all in favor. Thank you. And I have a resolution dated the 16th day of November 2022, that the council meeting be adjourned at 3:57 p.m. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Patrick, second by Councillor Sanderson, all in favor. And we are adjourned. Thanks for all your hard
You
work.
got your first council meeting.